This time I'd like to call to order the November 9th, 2011 Zoning Commission meeting. Let the record show Commissioners Zarazua Gradine, Esnar, and Dumas are absent. All other commissioners are present. This time we'll move along acceptance of the November 9th, 2011 proposed agenda.
Motion.
A motion by Milton Kluwat.
Second.
Second by Steve Barrow to approve. Any opposition or discussion? Motion passes. Acceptance of the minutes of the September 14th, 2011 zoning meeting.
Motion.
Second.
A motion by Steve Barrow, seconded by Milton Kluwat to approve. Any opposition or discussion? Motion passes. Item 5, public comment period. Anyone wishing to come up and address the zoning commission on any item that pertains to the zoning commission, come up, sign in, and you'll get your 3 minutes to speak. And no one wishing to address the commission, the initial public comment period is closed. Item 6, executive session, Florida Parish versus Ascension Parish et al., docket 101094, Division E, update and discussion of litigation. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Have a motion to go into executive session by Bob Nance, seconded by Milton Kluwat. On this, we have to do a roll call vote. Commissioner Dalton.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Nance.
Yes.
Commissioner Kluwat.
Yeah.
Commissioner Sadley.
Yes.
Motion passes, and we'll go into executive session. All right, this time I'll entertain a motion to reconvene.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion to reconvene by Bob Nance, seconded by Milton Kluwat. Any discussion? And we'll go ahead and vote. Commissioner Dalton.
What are we voting?
We're voting to reconvene.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Nance.
Yes.
Commissioner Kluwat.
Yeah.
Commissioner Sadley. Okay. Motion passes. We're reconvened as the we reconvened our meeting. Legal counsel was simply bringing us up to date on some pending litigation. So we'll go ahead and move along to item 7, public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map for recommendation for approval or denial to the Ascension Parish Council. 7A, zoning review ID 2196.11, lot 11A and 12A of the Forest Lawn subdivision for Florida Parish Bank. Who's here? Okay, oh, please, sir. Is there anyone representing the bank here?
That's kind of strange.
All right, no one's representing the bank here, but I can see is everyone in the audience here to speak on this item? All right. Well, then we'll go ahead and we'll open the public hearing on this item. And we will, well, legal counsel.
Where is she? Yeah, but I think it needs to be brought out. Well, it's owned by the bank. Maybe she works for the bank. Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
I have a question, if I might.
Yes, sir.
Looking at this application, I noticed that the owner information is the Florida Parish Bank, but it's signed by Amanda Blanchard. And I was just wondering, is that person here?
Okay, sir. Please, won't you come up to the podium, please?
My name is Ryan Blanchard. I filled out the paperwork to get the property rezoned. I have a purchase agreement with the bank to purchase the property. I own a martial arts school. I've been doing business in Ascension Parish, teaching martial arts for 15 years. Current location is Hutch's Hardware. So we're only moving the school, about a half a mile up the road. So the reason we're here is, no, not everyone's going to speak, but everybody is here to support the initiative. So, that's what we're here to do. We've been in Prairieville for 10 years teaching martial arts, family-based business. Me and my wife own the school and run the school. Part of the initiative to move out of the location we're in is to expand so that we have, more room to grow, to help with, we're just expanding right now, so.
Okay. All right, Mr. Blanchard, so actually you are the applicant.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was my concern. I'm looking at Florida Parish's bank, and that's who I'm expecting to see, someone.
Right,
All
they decided not to show up due to the past hearings that they've come to, and they said it may be better if they don't even show up.
Okay. What-
Me too.
Well, okay, hold on then, guys. All right, do you have anything that you want to add to what you've already said, Mr. Blanchard?
No, it pretty much sums it up.
Okay. Mr. Nance, what's you've got a question? What-
Right.
what-
Can we vote on something that the actual owner of the property is not the one making the application? Does he have the standing to request it?
There's a purchase agreement, so there are some rights that he would have.
Yeah, but we don't have it.
I don't know if he's got a power of attorney and he's authorized to,
Don't,
I don't know. I mean,
Hold on a minute, Mr. Sadler. If you, let Ms. Manna finish answering one question before we get into anything else.
I don't know the status. I don't know if the bank has authorized Mr. Blanchard to apply on his behalf. I would think so. I can't imagine why someone would make application on another or a bank's behalf without authorization, but I don't have the information in my packet to identify if there was a power of attorney or to see the purchase agreement, so I don't have the information.
well, we don't
to
have
answer
that
you.
information
Well,
either.
But also in the past, there's been a number of applications that's come before the commission where the actual owners of the property haven't been the applicants. That's been a common practice, and until we do something to change the law, I don't think you're going to stop that, because they're acting, it could be said they're acting as agent for the property owner. So, Mr. Clout, you had a question that you wanted to ask.
Yes, and this is more or less following up what Mr. Commissioner Nance was saying. Ms. Amanda, what if we say recommend to do this or not recommend to do it, whatever way we decide, and the gentleman that's here right now breaks off with his negotiation with the bank, and then the bank turns around and says, hey, I didn't want that to be done with my property. I don't want that. I want it to remain what it is. And we acted on something, and I realize that he may have a certain right, but are we getting into some kind of legal thing right now, that if we do act any way, up or down on this particular project,
In this
and the
particular,
negotiation between the bank and the person that's gonna buy the property breaks off, and he goes on by the wayside, and then the bank comes back at us, shouldn't we be in coalition with the bank? Shouldn't the bank be here to represent the bank as they're the true property owners of the property? I would feel much comfortable if they were here.
and I
and
understand you
representing them.
feeling that way, but either way, the rezone, well, in this situation, the rezone is clearly favorable to the bank, so even if the purchase agreement were to, for some reason, fall through, I don't believe that the commission would be exposed or the council would be exposed to any liability. And also, your decision tonight is only a recommendation to the
Yeah,
council.
I understand that.
Commissioner Sadler, you had a question?
I did, but I'm not sure if I do anymore. I think, Mr. Chairman, your comments right before and coupled with what Mr. Stewart just said, I am a little bit concerned, I'll say this for the record, that it says on the rezoning form in the Parish of Ascension that the only information is listed as, and this is redundant to the conversation, the Florida Parish Bank, and then it says the owner's signature is yourself, sir, and those two entities aren't the same. And I realize what Mr. Marchand just said, even with precedent and so forth, this is sort of mind-boggling to me, and I'm very, very confused.
Right, while we were guided through the process of filling the paperwork out, that's where we were told to sign in.
You're not representing that you're the owner. You just sign where it says owner's signature.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions, Mr. Barrow?
Question for staff. Staff, were you in contact with Florida Parish Bank at all, or has it only been with the applicant
It's
here?
been with the applicant. When I asked the applicant, they said the bank was aware that they were making this rezoning request, and I'm pretty sure they are, based on
The
conversations
purchase
that they
agreement
had.
is contingent on the property being rezoned.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Kluwat.
Again, I caution, I think we're in litigation right now, so it's attorneys and everything right now, so and I don't mean to say anything about you, sir, but everything, but being we're in litigation right now, shouldn't the owner be here, the owner of the property? In
I
other
agree.
words,
I agree.
to me, the owner should be here saying what he wants to do with that piece of property. Because we're in litigation right now, and, I mean, it just in my belief that the owner should be here requesting this and not the potential buyer. I have a problem with that.
Right, well, I was told by the bank to handle this piece of the,
Yeah, but sir, we're in litigation right now. Hearsay and telling that thing, in my opinion, sir, is not to me. I don't know. I know Miss Manda, our legal, is saying that you do have some rights. But right now, we're in litigation, or should I say the parish is in litigation with someone, and this applicant this piece of paper shows that we're supposed to have the owner of the piece of property. Now, if you had some kind of document showing that you representing the owner of the property right now, I'd feel much better.
all I
I'd
have
really
is a
feel much
purchase
better.
agreement saying that,
I mean, I'm not saying that bank didn't tell you that, or anything like that.
I understand what you're saying, sir.
But now we're in litigation, so in other words, everything's starting to cross your eyes, cross our T's and dot our I's with all of this right now. So, that's all I have to say, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Nance?
Would you be willing to postpone this and bring us the documentation that you have the right to represent the bank on this piece of property? Because I'm like Mr. Clue, I'm very hesitant to act on this since I don't have anything from writing from the bank, and I know you probably were told to sign at that spot, but that's, if you read that paragraph, it says that you are the owner of the property, and you are not the owner
Can
of that property.
you, I mean, what do you want, something from the bank
Something
saying?
for the bank, yes, sir.
That's an option, but at the same time, since, we are talking about a recommendation also. And you're, in the motion for the recommendation, you can also stipulate that conditioned upon providing that. Now, if he doesn't provide it, then you could put, it can't move to the council if he doesn't provide that information. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? If not, what I would like to do, we got a number of people here, so I want to open up the public hearing on this and give everybody an opportunity to address the commission.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Whoever wants to address the commission, please come up. We've got a list right here, sign-in list where Mr. Compton's sitting, and you'll get your 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Speedell, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Cajun Martial Arts, getting the property rezoned. I just wanted to take a few minutes and list some of the many benefits of having this building rezoned to allow Cajun Martial Arts to relocate. As you know, Cajun Martial Arts is a family-oriented business. They utilize the structure of the martial arts school to provide a positive learning environment in which to enhance the social, physical, and mental well-being of the participants and the community in which they teach. Since the school current location is already on Highway 621, there'd be virtually no increase to the current traffic pattern on the highway. Again, we're looking to expand. The school has a limited lobby, and they share their parking spaces with two other businesses. And it can sometimes inhibit the participation of the children's parents and some of the other members of the family who come to be involved in the children's progression. So allowing us to rezone the facility and purchase it would help alleviate that issue. The building in question is currently going down in stature. It's almost what they would call an eyesore in the community, and having us purchase it would rejuvenate the building and make it an asset to the community. So I appreciate your time and would like you to approve allowing us to go to commission to rezone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Kenneth Campbell. I'm a resident of Ascension Parish. I live in Parks of Dutchtown subdivision with my wife and my 12-year-old son, Eric. And we've been Ascension Parish residents since 2007. Shortly after moving to Ascension Parish, we joined Cajun Martial Arts, which, as the previous speaker just mentioned, is a great business. It's a great family-oriented business. They have done a super job, and the school is growing, and we're really stretched to capacity at this point. We need greater access to better parking. We need more room for students and for training. And I think in Ascension Parish, when we could have a successful business that also is a great place for families, it's great for social environment and great for recreation, it's a great opportunity for the commission to be able to move and to help that business to grow and to thrive. And so certainly I want to urge you to recommend this for approval when you're able to work out the legal challenges that are before you, and really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mike Reeves. I'm a student of the school. Been a student for about 1.5 years. I live about half a mile from the school now, so I feel as far as improving my own part of the community. I drive past the new location, of the proposed new location every day. The building is starting to become an eyesore. I understand it's zoned residential now. I really don't see anyone wanting to pay to tear down that building and build anything new in that spot because it's right on Highway 621. So having a new business in my community, I feel this martial arts school is only good for families, for anything positive you could think of as a new business. The school now is stretched to capacity. They need to expand, and I just want to have y'all recommend the transition. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John Gibbs, and I'm not a resident of Ascension Parish. I come from East Baton Rouge Parish 3 times a week to teach in the school. It has been a growing school, and there's a lot of good being done here, and we do need to expand. When I go by that piece of property, every time I go to the school, it looks dilapidated. It needs a real good paint job. It needs some improvements. And this school owner, Master Ryan, will make those improvements. I can't see anybody buying it as a residential type home because it's just a big building, and it's my understanding that it used to be a business. So if we can get it rezoned as a business again, improvements can be made, our school can expand, and for the overall community, this will be an asset. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else signed up to speak? Okay. The public comment period on this item is closed. Mr. Blanche, you want to come on back up, sir? Is there any other comments that you would like to make to the commission at this time? Anything you want to add?
Well, this is a first for me. It's been a process that's been going on for a while. I really didn't know until earlier this week that this is, the third time that, or more, that this issue has come up in front of the zoning commission as to rezone this building to make it a commercial location. My only concern with purchasing the building is that I can actually relocate my business to it. And, that's why the purchase agreement is contingent upon that condition. So, whatever we have to do to make this happen, I'm willing to, get the bank to sign whatever we need to sign to say that I represent the bank or the interest in the bank to get the property rezoned. So that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Comments or questions from commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Kluwant.
I have a question for Lance. Lance, if this is granted to change to mixed use 2, then he can do anything when he wants with that piece of land as long as it goes under that table, mixed use 2, right?
Correct, yes, sir. Any use that is permitted in MU2 would be allowed.
Right.
Would be permitted, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? There are no further comments or questions from commissioners. What's the wish of the commission?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Dalton.
I would like to move that we recommend denial because this is clearly spot zoning, and that the uses permitted under mixed use 2 are too far in scope for the proposed use or what would be usable, this land would be usable. So my recommendation is that we recommend denial to the parish council because it's spot zoning.
Second.
I have a motion to recommend denial to the parish council by Howard Dalton, seconded by Bob Nance. Discussion. No discussion. And we'll go ahead and vote. Mr. Dalton.
Yes.
Mr. Barrow.
Yes.
Mr. Nance.
Yes.
Mr. Kluwat.
Yes.
Mr. Sadley.
Yes.
Motion passes. Understand, sir, this is simply a recommendation to the parish council. They will have the final say on this. Item 8, new business. Are there any items of new business to be brought before the zoning subcommittee tonight, or the zoning commission tonight? No. Moving on then, item 9, unfinished business. We have no items of unfinished business. Item 10, zoning subcommittee report. Mr. Sadley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since I was essentially not allowed a zoning subcommittee report at our last meeting, since staff canceled our regularly scheduled meeting of the full zoning commission for a lack of business, I guess I took the liberty to follow their lead and cancel the zoning subcommittee meeting as well. But I would like to say for the record, as per the Attorney General's opinion that you read, and following Mr. Kluwat's lead with the Subdivision Ordinance Subcommittee, I would like to announce that it sounds like the zoning subcommittee commissioners can also be allowed to exercise their First Amendment rights by allowing I'm gonna just call them unofficial commissioners to attend those subcommittee meetings, so we'll extend the invitation back that way as well as to speak at the public comment period. The only other thing I would say in terms of a report, Mr. Chairman, would be the next zoning subcommittee meeting scheduled for next Wednesday. I believe that is the 16th, if I'm correct. And as always, it follows subdivision ordinance, the 5 p.m. meeting, so we'll start at 6 p.m. We'll be continuing to look at the historical overlay and the small business park overlay ordinances, where we sort of left off last time. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving along to item 11, I'll entertain a motion to
moved.
adjourn. Motion by Bob Nance, second by Milton Cluott to adjourn. Any opposition, discussion? Nope. We're adjourned.